In this tutorial, you'll learn how to build a 3D printed parametric organizer for your everyday items. Easy to print, flexible to adjust. Measure what you want to organize with the digital caliper, then jump straight into Fusion. Before we start sketching, hit the S key. That opens the Design Shortcuts menu. It's the fastest way to work in Fusion without digging through toolbars. From here, we'll set up the user parameters for this project. Parameters are just named values, like width, height, or wall thickness, that you can change later, and Fusion updates the whole model automatically. It keeps everything consistent, saves time when you need to tweak the design, and makes the organizer fully adaptable to whatever items you want to store. Once the parameters are in place, the rest of the build becomes a lot smoother. Start with a new component. It keeps the design clean and makes edits way easier later. Tap Tab to jump straight into the name field, faster than clicking, and confirm. Fusion activates the component automatically, so everything you create from here drops into the right place. Press S and use your design shortcuts to start a new sketch on the flat, predefined construction plane. Create a center rectangle and sketch it centrally in the origin. This sets you up for an organized model from the start. Use your base parameter to set the width and depth. And quick reminder, make sure the base size fits on your 3D printer's build plate. You can skip an extra click here. Jump straight from the sketch into Extrude by pressing E on the keyboard. Use your height parameter to set the extrusion. This keeps the base fully parametric and makes it easy to adjust the organizer's depth later. Start a new sketch on top of the body we just extruded. Press L to switch to the line tool. Fusion highlights the active tool in the toolbar, so you always know what you're using. Draw a few quick, rough layout lines to mark where your compartments will go. They don't need to be perfect at this stage. A fast rough draft is more efficient than trying to sketch everything perfectly from the start. It lets you explore spacing, rethink proportions, and adjust your design before committing to precise dimensions. Once the layout feels right, we'll refine it with real measurements and constraints. Use the view cube to stay oriented and get a clear overview of the design. Then project the outline of the body into the sketch to create linked edges that match the shape. This lets you add dimensions that update automatically whenever you change the base parameter. You'll notice the projected edges show up in purple. That tells you they're linked to the body, so they'll update automatically if the base changes. From here, press D to add dimensions. Use the parameters you created earlier, whatever fits your layout. This is where parameters pay off. If you ever adjust the organizer later, the entire sketch adapts without breaking. As you start adding dimensions, you'll see the blue sketch lines turn black. Black lines mean the geometry is fully defined. Fusion knows exactly where everything belongs. Blue means there's still something unconstrained. We're going to trim away lines to form the actual compartments. Each remaining line becomes the edge of a box for one of your items. This keeps the sketch clear and lets you control the size and spacing of every section. You'll also notice small constraint symbols appear around corners and lines. These define how the geometry behaves. The more intentional your constraints, the more stable your parametric model becomes. This combination, projected edges, parameters, dimensions, constraints, and trimming, gives you a sketch that's fast to build and solid for future edits. The phone parameter is a bit too short here, so I'll update the value. The sketch reacts instantly because everything in this design is driven by parameters. That means any feature downstream in the timeline, for example the extrudes, body splits, offsets, will rebuild automatically the moment this value changes. This is the whole point of working parametrically. One small edit fixes the entire design without you chasing broken geometry. Now I'm assigning the final parameters for this part of the design, the phone width and the car keys width. With those in place, the sketch snaps fully constrained. That's exactly what we want. A constrained sketch stays predictable, doesn't drift, and reacts properly when parameters change. I'll trim away one of the last sketch lines we don't need, but notice that some geometry still stretches outside the box. That's intentional. Those extended lines make the next steps easier because they give us clean references when we start shaping the bodies later. The surface extrude is easy to spot by its orange color, and it's designed for open profiles, perfect for what we need here. I'm extruding all these lines as thin surfaces because the goal is to use them as cutters to split the main body into separate compartments. And with this setup, every compartment size stays fully parametric. If we change a width or length parameter later, all these surface walls move with it, and the entire organizer updates automatically. Remember to save regularly. Adding a short version description each time makes it easy for you and anyone you collaborate with to jump back to a specific stage of the design. We're using those thin extruded surfaces as tools to split the original solid body into separate pieces. This is where the setup pays off. Each surface follows our sketch and our parameters, so every split lands exactly where we want it. When you're dividing a part in multiple directions like this, I've found it's almost always easier to do it in a few steps instead of trying to split everything at once. Fusion behaves more predictably, you avoid weird failures, and you keep the timeline clean. And because this split feature sits later in the parametric timeline, any update to our user parameters will push all the changes downstream. If we decide the phone or car key compartment needs a different width, those surfaces shift, the splits update, and the whole organizer adapts automatically. This is the whole point of modeling this way. Build the logic once, then reuse it every time you tweak the design. It's easy to preview the result of the splits. Just toggle through the bodies in the browser. You'll see each piece separated, and if you want a cleaner overview, start naming the bodies right away. From here, creating the compartments is simple. We'll use our wall thickness parameter to build consistent walls around each section. Because everything is parametric, the geometry stays accurate and we avoid the small mistakes that happen when you model thickness manually. And the real win is speed. If you decide the walls should be thicker or thinner, just update the parameter and the entire organizer updates instantly. This keeps the model clean, predictable, and easy to iterate on. Now we'll project the geometry from each box so we have clean reference lines for our labels. These projected lines stay linked to the underlying geometry, so if the compartments shift because of a parameter change, the text will move with them. That's the whole point of working this way. Everything stays connected. When placing the text, I snap to the corner points of the projected lines to keep everything aligned. It's faster, it's cleaner, and it saves you from having to reposition things later. And remember, you can repeat your last command from the right-click menu. It's one of those small habits that adds up when you're creating a lot of labels. I'll fast forward through the repetitive parts here to save your time, but the workflow is the same. Project, snap, place text, repeat. The model stays organized and every label stays locked to the logic of the design. Since all our labels should have the same depth, we can just select every text instance and apply the text depth parameter in one go. Fusion creates a single feature for it, and it shows up right away in the timeline. If you ever want to change that depth, don't open the Extrude feature. Go to the parameter input box instead. Updating the parameter updates every text cut instantly. It keeps the model clean, consistent, and fast to edit. Next, we add fillets to give the organizer a smoother look. Fillets aren't just aesthetic. They remove sharp edges, make prints easier to handle, and in some cases even improve print strength by reducing stress points. And as you can probably guess, we'll drive the fillet size from the parameter input box for the same reasons as before. One edit updates everything. We'll stick to the standard fillet options here, but there's real depth in the fillet settings if you want to explore more advanced edge control later. Since there are a lot of edges in this model, it's usually easier to select them in a few passes. You also have advanced selection filters in the select menu if you want to target only edges or faces. I'll fast forward through the repetitive selections to save your time, but the workflow stays the same. Select edges, apply the parameter, repeat where needed. One upside of selecting the fillets in smaller groups is that you reduce the risk of misclicks and having to reselect everything from scratch. The trade-off is that the fillets end up spread across multiple features in the timeline. It's not a problem, it still works parametrically, but it's something to keep in mind when you look back through your history. The phone will sit tight in this compartment, so grabbing it can be a bit tricky. To fix that, we start by projecting a sketch line from the outer edge of the box. Fusion snaps directly to the center of that projected line, which makes it simple to place a clean cutout right where we want it. The wall thickness parameter gives us the perfect offset, and if the cut goes the wrong way, we just add a minus sign in front of the parameter to flip the direction. I'm also using the fillet parameter here, so every rounded edge in this design stays aligned and updates together when we change it later. This is another perfect moment to save the project before we move into the final steps. Next, we'll offset the current geometry to create the outer holder, the frame that everything will fit inside. We'll use the surface modeling offset command to push the outer edge outward and create the frame that holds all the compartments. I start with a 0.2 mm offset, just enough to give the 3D printed boxes a bit of tolerance. This tiny gap helps them slide in easily without squeezing, but also keeps them from moving around. Your ideal value might be different depending on your printer, filament and slicer settings, so it's always worth testing. The offset we've created is just a surface, an infinitely thin sheet with no physical thickness, so we need to turn it into something printable. To do that, we give it a thickness. We use the same wall thickness parameter as the compartments for consistent modeling, but we set it to a slightly lower height value here to save material and reduce print time while still keeping the outer holder strong enough for everyday use. It's easy to clean up the excess geometry we inherited when we offset the boxes. We simply remove it with an extrude cut, and that gives us a clean outer frame. We also need a bottom, so we start by patching the open hole. That patch is just another infinitely thin surface, so we give it thickness using the wall thickness parameter. This bottom plate can be optimized later. You can make it thinner or even remove it entirely if you want the fastest possible print while still keeping the functional frame that holds all boxes together. With that done, here's the full layout again. All the compartments, the frame and the updated structure, just to get a clear overview of the design before we move on to exporting the files. Before we look at a few demonstrations of parametric changes, we'll take a quick look at export options. You can right-click each body and save it as an STL or a FreeMF file. Naming your bodies before exporting is a smart move. It keeps your files organized, makes slicing easier, and avoids the classic problem of body 1, body 2, body 3 when you return to the project later. Now we'll run two simple parametric changes and see how everything updates. This is the whole point of setting up parameters early. Dimensions shift instantly. The compartments adapt, and you don't need to rebuild anything. It's a huge time saver when you want to test layouts or optimize for print time. To wrap up, an easy way to support free CAD tutorials like this is to like the video and subscribe to the channel. More details are in the description, including links to written guides, tools, 3D printing gear, and current deals that can help you level up your Fusion workflow, your printing, and your making in general.